Welcome to Cannabis School. I'm your host, Jesse Angeles.
And I'm Brandon Elder.
And we're here to talk to you about everything pertaining to cannabis, from vape,
Flower,
edibles,
strains,
and everything in between.
Yo, Dabba Dabba. I am so excited for these. Let me ask you, how big of a glob do you normally put in your dab rig?
Not even close to that.
I assumed. No.
But I would say it'd be either a half of that one or just little under half.
See, this is actually a really large one. I feel like usually I'm maybe half. I'm probably about half of this. But I figure if we're here, we're both passing it back and forth, and that, low temp, it'll last a good minute.
And I'm really curious. This morning I had some Blue Dream, which is a great sativa, but it's actually got me ramped up. Like my heart rate. So this is going to be perfect with this. This is, today, kids, we are having
some delicious Frosted Flakes for
They're
breakfast.
Great.
Yeah. So get your Tony the Tiger outfit on, sit down with a bowl of Frosted Flakes, and
Hey, kids.
spark right up.
Why don't you step up to a nice big bowl of Frosted Flakes?
I know.
That sounds awesome.
It does sound fantastic.
And you know what's cool about it is, reading about it.
Oh, you said it was coming from a really good lineage, like pre-99 Bubba Kush.
Yeah, pre-98 Bubba Kush and White Bubba. And the range of THC is anywhere from like 19 to 27, depending on where you're at or how it was grown or whatever. But man, it's pretty
I guess that would
cool.
be on bud. On concentrates, it will always be higher than 19 to 27%.
Oh my goodness.
If you have a concentrate at that, it's probably hemp derived.
And one of the things too lately, Brandon, we've been using a lot more concentrates.
Oh yeah.
And I've been using less flour, definitely. And I needed to slow down a little bit because you know how easy it is to go. I mean, if you have some, like, why wait?
Yeah, well, it's when I ran low on pens, which is that really good candy that's convenient because it's always around. But then I find that I use it more, and then I'm puffing on a pen more than I would a concentrate or flour. So as I was running lower on pens, I actually had been leaning into my flour. And I found that I was going through between 2 to 3 grams probably a day of flour. And that was, I wasn't using every second of every day, but I was still managing my pain at a normal level. And I'm like, yeah, that's a lot of flour.
It is a lot of flour, and it's good to be able. It's where some people I've talked to, I'm like, hey, do you use wax? Do you use concentrates? Because when you hit up a new person and they're going, do you dab? That almost sounds like they're going.
I know, right? Yeah.
That's what I always used to think before.
It's on low. It's pretty low temp there. What's interesting is, so being in the cannabis space for quite a while, you meet and know lots of people who consume cannabis, move cannabis, talk about cannabis,
Dude.
all sorts of things. Piney notes?
Wow.
What are you getting?
That's piney.
Yeah.
This should have been called Oh Christmas Tree.
Yeah, it's delicious. Though.
Wow.
Interesting.
So piney. Slight citrus.
Mm-hmm.
Good Lord, I love concentrates.
Yeah, I went up and I got some new concentrates from a buddy. And he had, let's call him a plug. He's more of like a plug type of person. And it's interesting because even in that aspect, and he has been in cannabis way longer than I went up and I talked to him about waxes, concentrates, and he's like, oh yeah, so many people dab, but then there's a lot of people who don't even know what concentrates, what they are. And I was like, honestly, I tell everyone that what's in my pen is the same as what's in here, is the same as what's in there. And he's like, well, it's not. I'm like, I mean, it is, but it's not. It's concentrated cannabis. Yes, the extraction method, the process, the quality definitely ranges from one to the other. But at the end of the day, concentrated cannabis versus concentrated cannabis versus concentrated cannabis.
Yeah.
And it really is just the method, the dose, all of that. And I was like, so most people, when I tell them, like, hey, this is the same that's in your pen. Yeah, maybe it's a different extraction, maybe a different strain, maybe it's slightly better process, but this is the same stuff, basically. And so if you can take a tiny little hit, even the size of a pinhead, that might be okay for them.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. It's when you're at a little more at I would say kind of like at a medium level, like a mid-level cannabis consumer, right? Been a couple years. You're
So
still
piney.
exploring. It's so piney, man. That is such high quality bud that was used to make that.
I mean, so this is not a sugar wax. I would call this one like a butter.
Yeah, that's a butter.
You can see just it's very clearish, cleanish. I've had some. Gosh, what would that be? There's so many different names for the type of concentrate. It's a very buttery type, but it's more of a sauce. But the sauce, I felt like a Terpene Poison, very darker color in comparison.
Yeah. Terpene Poison's definitely that's a sugar wax too, because that stuff is just like a clump. This stuff is really nice. For an indica, you're not going to get that couch lock feel. And the reason why concentrates are so great is that one, the effect is almost instantaneous and you don't have to take as much as you think you do.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely blow clouds if you want.
100%.
And I tend to do that, dude. Like when I load my dab rig, like I just sit there and puff on it until the power goes out.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm getting a lot.
Yeah. I'll go through the bowl and then I'll usually load up another one and then, but it just depends on my day, what I'm doing.
Yeah, totally. But it really does depend upon that. The great upside of it is that I don't have to, I have less cravings for vape pen.
Oh yeah. When I have a dab, I find that I'm not needing or feeling like, hey, I should bring a pen with me or I do that. Honestly, if I'm heading out, I've been more prone to taking a dab and then heading out and just leaving my pen at home.
Well, and the great thing, a lot of people go, wow, Jess, this thing is fucking huge.
It is.
Like, I mean, look at that.
Yeah, it's massive.
I'm not a giant person by
The
any
Dr. Dabber
means.
Switch is a massive piece.
Yeah, how tall would you say that is? That's a foot tall.
No, taller than that.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. No, I mean to here.
Yeah. So you're maybe 16 inches, 14. Yeah, 16 inches maybe.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
That seems intimidating, right? But there are a lot of portable solutions.
Smaller
They're
ones.
messy.
Yeah.
But if you're not going to be doing it a lot, you could load it up and keep it there and just hit it throughout the day.
Oh yeah, because that
That's such a
concentrate
great-
will stay, just like in a pen.
Oh, yeah, dude. That by far is, I would say, a better way than consuming pens. I'm not against pens. Pens
Better
are
quality.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just a better quality because, again, vape cartridges, for those who are new to it, it's amazing. You're puffing on that like 3 times and you're like good for hours, right? But if you've been using it for, over a decade, close to a decade, now it's just not the same. And when you consume a higher quality product, yeah, you're going to pay a little bit more for less.
This is cheaper. I pay less per gram for that than I do for any cart.
But it's always the perception,
Yeah.
like because it's an easy portable solution.
consumption method, and it's
Yeah.
all in one. You don't have to worry about, is there another device I need versus getting like the thing I realized, because I was using, it's been years when I got into concentrates, back with the old blowtorch and heating it up and going,
Yeah, and I was like, nope.
taking the hits when it's burning red hot, going, hey, I don't know that I should cool it down, then going, God, this is horrible, and setting a gradual timer going, that wasn't long enough, add 10 more seconds, next dab hit, until I found my optimal time of cooling, going, all right, well, it was like 90 seconds or something. Like,
Yeah, I remember you were always having
like Alexa set this timer and it would do it. And I'm like, it was my dab rig of like, all right, let it cool down. But that stuff, when I got into that, I realized I was paying about half the cost for a gram of concentrate as I was for a gram of concentrate in a pen.
Yeah, so ridiculous.
And I was like, okay, so not only is it a cleaner, better product, I'm getting all of it and I'm not having to worry about, the pen, all of that. And it's half the cost. I was like, okay, how many pens does that add up to before I'm buying one of these or buying one of those? And I'm like, plus this, the reason why I got this, I had the Puffco Peak.
Yeah.
It was great, but it died. For someone who consumes a lot, it would make it a third of the way, half the way through the day. And I'm like, shit, now I got to charge it, but I can't dab and charge that. So then I'm going, well, I have to let it sit there and charge until it's charged and then start dabbing again. But for someone who's medicinal user and I'm like, hey, it's been hours, I'm hurting, that thing's still charging. Well, now I got to go get a pen. And so then I'm like, well, this thing lasts me all day long, and I can leave it on. I can just leave it on.
Well, and what I like about the Dr. Dabber, because I used to, give it shit and all that, but when you're working with a high quality dab rig like this, and teach their own. I've just experienced this myself. Brandon's experienced a lot of different, and I've experienced a lot of different dab rigs.
Yeah.
One of the ones I used to love was the Utillion 8.
Yeah.
But the novelty wore off when, one, I don't know how long this is going to go. Can I increase the time? No. So I just said, fuck it, whatever. And it was a bitch to clean.
It reminds me of the Puffco, but the thing on that one that I did like is it had the removable chamber in between that the Puffco didn't. But
that was an annoying part too, because you got to pull that out. Then you get the metal tube in there, and it's cool. It's a cool rig.
This is the best piece to clean that I've ever had.
I remember that.
Like,
because you just burn out the bowl.
Self-burns the bowl, but if there's concentrate under there, you literally heat it up so where it burns, I put in a paper towel, and because it's so hot, it'll literally wipe it all out. If there's anything at all, I literally get a tiny dab of rubbing alcohol, and then I swivel around there because it's literally just like perfect glass. There's no holes, no gunk.
Yeah, it's like not sticking to it.
The easiest thing. And then I put a little bit of 99% ISO in the glass, shake it around, it cleans it perfectly off, and I'm good to go. And I'm like, this thing is the fastest clean, easiest clean, like best temperature range I get. Granted, I think the newer Puffcos in that you can control with the app, get probably the same temperature range, if not more than this.
I've seen more people have broken Puffcos than anything else. Like my friend Josh, dude, his atomizer just stopped working.
The thing with this,
and it's all incorporated. You can't take it apart.
I would say this is Dr. Dabber Switch is 4 to 6 years old. This one is. And I have never had any problem whatsoever. I have not had to replace an atomizer or thing like that because none of that goes bad. You don't have to worry about all that. The only thing I've had to do was I was stupid once and set it on a not good spot and it tipped down and the glass broke. And I had a new glass piece, but that was it.
Now, this type of dab rig, what are we looking at as far as cost?
It's $400.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, but get it on sale because I think you can get like 20 to 40% off, just depending on, not 40, but
April's around the corner. So it will be $420 in that. Yeah, definitely look for $420. But, there's that. And then I used one I pulled out of the storage, and it was the Crossing Core.
Oh, 2.0. Yeah.
Crossing Core 2.0.
Is that the milk jug one, or is that the one that looks...
the milk jug one. I gave the other one away, I think. But this one, I always kept. I didn't know why. I just kept it. And, man, I'll tell you what. It's a lot... The hits are very similar to this. When they had those like cone ones, I don't like them as much for some reason. It just feels like I don't know. I just don't like it, right? Maybe because I think it's a dick and I'm worried about it.
What's really interesting though, even though this one's like a indica dominant hybrid, 70-30 kind of.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be a great energetic strain, one that's supposed to help you be like, basically you could do anything. Not like you're Superman, but like anything you're going to do, this strain would be okay to do.
For me right now, it's really got me chilled out. But I had that Blue Dream this morning, and sometimes strains will just act differently based upon your psychological state.
And the grow too. Yes. Yep. And how you're feeling at that time, what's going on in your head, your body, everything else. But yeah, even cultivar to cultivar, because I know there have been some that are like more indica dominant hybrids, Blue Dream, and then some that are more sativa based. Even the, terpene cannabinoid profiles are different, but that happens when you have different grows. So.
Yeah. No, with this one, wow, I don't have to take too much. If I did more, I'll get sleepy.
What's surprising on this one? This one says it's used for treating anorexia. Do you feel munchy?
I
don't feel munchy.
But I'm on medicine to keep me. It's just a side effect of it. But
I had breakfast, but I don't feel like I'm munchy right now.
No, I had breakfast. I don't feel hungry at all. I got cotton mouth.
Not terrible though. Mine actually, it's really
the
not
lips.
Bad. Yeah, my lips are pretty dry.
My lips are dry now, but it's really nice, and especially in the concentrate form. That's what I'm saying, kids. Is that when you have a concentrate, there's nothing like it. There really isn't. You're just like.
all right, thoughts. I'm feeling like the lights are a little muted.
Yep.
Not quite as bright and vibrant, but just slightly
Just
dampened.
soft.
Yeah.
There's
very
like a
pleasant.
soft hue over everything.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, this is very, very peaceful strain.
It's making my eyes dry. Because I want to close my eyes.
Oh, I hate when my eyes feel really dry that I actually just like I
Edibles
sit and
do
close
that
them.
to me. When they kick in,
That's usually when I notice edibles is not because I feel high, but because I go, my eyes are dry or my mouth's dry, and I'm like,
it's kicking in.
Well, that's when I know this must be the peak of the edible, and then I'm usually like, oh, that's disappointing. This is it, or like I hardly feel that. All that it is my mouth is dry, and I'm like, damn, I wish this was a better edible. So I know that's terrible, but like years ago when I would go to Denver and go wander around museums, and I'd pop 100 milligrams, and that would be great for me. I would feel that. And that would usually be about when I'm like, oh, hey, I can feel it in my eyes. I can feel it in my mouth. It's about to get great. Now I'm like, oh, I can feel it in my eyes. I can feel it in my mouth. Is this it? Like, I feel like I'm on a kiddie roller coaster. Is the ride going yet? Can you start it?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I really like it.
I don't feel, it's very relaxed through my body. I don't feel it overwhelmingly in my head, but I do, it's there.
Oh, dude, I am so chill right now. Like right now.
Frosted Flakes is fantastic.
Wow. I am like, I mean, I don't want to go to sleep. But
if you're going to persuade him.
No, just my eyes. Like, you know what this would be great for? You're working on your tan. And you're like, I don't want to just sit here and listen to music and it's fucking hot. And
in
I'm
February?
baking like a chicken. No, I'm saying like when you are going tanning and you're just baking like a chicken in the sun and you're just sizzling. It's kind of annoying, right? And I'm not saying I sun. Why? I've got farmer tan like constantly. And but I could enjoy being on a beach with this, dude. Like I wouldn't care about time. I'd just be like, man, this feels good. It's like the equivalent of being in like a really nice jetted tub where it's like massaging all over my body right now. And I'm just like, this is nice. But it's good.
It's a very relaxing, like chilling strain.
But not like go to sleep. You could go to sleep on it if you wanted.
This one's supposedly not a couch lock kind of strain, but it's more like very commonly used, I think, for like depression, stress, anxiety. Yeah, and I'm like, the anorexia one threw me off. That one, I don't know if I've really seen that on many strains. Have you? That you can think of?
No, I was an odd one.
Yeah.
But the thing that I think about is like, if it'll encourage you to eat because it makes you hungry, that would be awesome.
True. Or, here, I've never really looked too much into anorexia. Is it, do you think, a mental condition, like something in the mind?
Oh, absolutely.
So if this helps with depression and stress and all these others, could it just potentially be that aspect of it that helps? I don't feel much either.
Well, no, I mean, but if you're used to fasting, it's not that big of a deal. But if you haven't really fasted ever, then you're going to see that happen where it could trigger it. Like the other part that goes against that is that we already ate.
Yeah.
And it wasn't too long ago.
It's true.
Now I'm satisfied, and the diabetes medication I take, like the side effect is that it doesn't
make you hungry.
Hungry, which is nice because I'm not snacking. I don't need to snack all day long. Look, I'm not trying to be up on a stage posing, and when everybody's like, you have to have this much every day in order to maintain muscle mass, and I'm like, look, I go to the gym, I work out, I eat pretty well.
Yeah,
I don't need to be up on the stage, so I'm not so concerned about it. But I wouldn't be concerned about this being, because there are some strains, man, that get me. Durban Poison will do that to me time and time.
Yeah, this one, I'm just not feeling that.
No.
But I am so pleasantly surprised and happy that this is the experience of it. Yeah. Because like I said, the day that I got this and I tried it, I just had so many other strains in my system that it was incredibly hard to actually navigate like what this felt like. I just could taste the pininess and I was like, oh my goodness, like I had such an incredible flavor from that.
Well, and it's cool because the wave of experience, like at first it's chill and then it drops down like a wave. For me, it was like, when you're getting at the bottom of the wave and it's building up behind you like a little surfer. I don't know why my brain is going there, but it is. So it's like you're this little surfer over there and you just ride it out. But right now, like it's a very short-lived time. Now I feel very awake, but at the same time just so relaxed.
Yeah. That's what it had said, like it's great to do almost anything with, and maybe it is once it, you get into it. The thing that surprised me too is it had said that this strain is like a good body buzz, but might not be good enough for a regular cannabis consumer. And yet, for someone who consumes every day and has for years and years and years,
yep,
I would call bullshit on that, because this is
I think it's in the form, and
experience.
Sometimes you can get this like in a cart,
or the grow,
grow. It could be in the form, like because I always feel that a cart form is great when you're at the beginning, but after a while,
just because it's like so easy for them to at least figure out dosing of like, oh, I just take this tiny hit. But if they understood that and had a rig, and it was like, oh, I only took the side of the pinhead,
yeah,
like they'd be just in the same boat, but with better quality, probably.
I don't know, like even the carts, like if I hit it, like if I do a wake and bake that day, like I gotta hit it like 5 times before I go.
Yeah, it depends on the strain. It depends on, but carts, yeah.
Yeah, it just never hits right. It's like I'm like, I need some good energy right now, and I'm going through my pantry and I see like some really good beef jerky or some other protein related snack, and then there's Pringles, which is sawdust and some potato
And salt.
Lots of salt.
Yep. Salt, sawdust, and potato.
And I picked those fucking things up because I'm just like, oh, let me eat this shit. This is good. This is tasty. The salt, and it's so crazy. That was something I was telling you about too, learning about sonic branding. That's pretty cool. If you guys have a chance, look up sonic branding. It's very crazy. It's using sound to...
Oh, is it like the ones that create the fractal patterns and stuff?
No. Like they created the sound for Open Up a Pop Can.
Oh, that, yeah.
Yeah, like everything like around that.
How everything is intentionally designed.
Right, like Rice Krispies, they
probably
improved
open up a bag, like everything is intentionally designed.
Look at Apple. Like when you open an Apple box, there's nothing
brand new
quite
package.
like it.
Yeah.
And if anybody else does it, they're just trying to copy Apple. So now it's like, and they're not. They're trying to provide the same experience, but because it's not Apple, it's not the same experience. That's why you have to change it with everything. But one of the things about cannabis is that you can have a pretty similar experience, just depending upon your endocannabinoid system. But sometimes it could just really fuck up your day. So make sure to keep some lemon juice around.
And some good CBD.
Oh, man, good CBD.
And yeah, that's probably really solid. I can't think of anything else. Oh, and go low and slow, because obviously if you are new to cannabis, taking big hits, large edibles, large doses.
Concentrates, we have ridiculous prices here. I'm sure you guys have ridiculous prices wherever you're at. And I'm always saying that it's the best thing to do. But if you have a solid quality plug that can get you some really good stuff, I would go that route. I recently got some dab.
Yeah. From Cureleaf, I believe.
Yeah. I was a Pure Plan. It was a local. And it's really good.
Was it a resin? Was it a rosin? Was it just a normal concentrate, like a CO2 extraction?
No.
Oh, no, you said it was a different...
Yeah, what is it? The ice...
Cold water hash extract? Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what it was.
Ice water.
So it looks a lot like hash. It's very green.
Yeah.
But it's very dry.
You were saying that. Does it almost crumble?
Yes, it crumbles.
Okay.
So maybe it is hash because it comes in like a ball.
Oh, it's hash.
Look like somebody.
It should be a hash ball.
Yeah, a hash ball, and it's fantastic. It was fantastic. Huh. However,
I didn't know they made that.
The price, and it was on sale, but the full price is like $80 for a gram, and that's like
Oh yeah. Well, even going to Denver where they have really good pricing on products, even for like a live rosin, you're $40-$50 a gram.
Yeah, and
Easy.
I mean,
so
it makes sense,
but it's
to
higher, better quality. It takes a lot longer to process in that way and create that type of extraction, that type of quality. But the experience is so much better.
Oh.
But I met this guy, and he just moved out here recently from Denver, actually. And we were talking about that because he was like, oh man, yeah, rosins are just so expensive. And for how much I use, I can't justify it, because even with the live rosin, I go through it so fast that, even though they're like, hey, it's on this great deal, it's $45 a gram. He's like, I'm getting the other one at 12 to 18. So he's like, I get 2 to 3 grams value of what I would get 1 gram at, and I'm not like, it doesn't last me the same.
Well, you have to think about that longevity of it, because it's so easy to I think that on concentrates, it's really hard for me to go through a lot of it really quick.
Yeah, me too.
Well, Brandon, no, but
I have a problem.
No. I mean, you have problems.
Yes, multiple. Thanks for correcting me. Well, I know that because when I've dabbed, like there was a time that I sat down and I was like, I wonder how much I'm dabbing, and I pulled out the thing, put it on a scale, and then weighed my dab. I was like, oh shit, that's like 1/3 of a gram. So every dab that I'm doing, so like 3 dabs, there's a gram, there's a gram, there's a gram. Like, what? And I'm like, oh God, my tolerance is just. But I don't.
It's funny because we used to be making fun of Eric Kondo.
But I don't do a gram at a time. It'll be like a gram might last me, a day.
A day? Okay. Not all at once. I thought you were doing it at once. I'm like, good Lord, Brandon. And then he's like, yeah, dude, you want to go rock climbing? And I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like,
only on certain strains.
I'm on the moon.
It makes it so easy to climb when you're weightless. There's no gravity. No, this is quite pleasant. I like this.
Oh, yeah. This is really nice.
The thing with concentrates over flower is the experience will last longer. I do like that more than pens as well, because even pens, I feel like, are 30 minutes to 45 minutes usually.
Yeah.
Concentrates, if I do a large enough one, like a really big dab, probably the full 1/3 of a gram, I am like actually good, where I don't think about a pen or anything. I don't really hurt for hours.
Yeah, pen, like when we game sometimes, right?
Oh, yeah.
Especially if we're doing like Gran Turismo. I'll puff, but sometimes I want to puff like right in the middle of a turn.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
But on some really good concentrate, I'm
the
just
best
looking
part
for my bottle of water.
With these steering wheels is sometimes I'll just have my pen down in the little thing on the couch. And as I'm driving, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's fine. I'm just cruising, and I'll just pick up my pen, put it in my mouth, and start pulling, put my hand back on the steering wheel, keep driving, and then as soon as I'm done, drop it. Because usually I'll do this all the time as I'm standing there in my house or whatever. I'll take my hit, and when I'm done, I just open my mouth, and my pen drops, and I catch it in my hand, and then I put it in my pocket. Like, because I'm just, it's timing. And so that's all it is. I'm like, all right, open my mouth, catch, put it in. But that's, so I kind of do the same thing where I just, I'm driving, open my mouth, grab it, set it down, just catch it as it's doing it. So, oh my goodness, that is on vibrate.
That's hilarious.
I didn't notice that. I'm going to turn that off because it's kind of noise.
Hey!
So at least it's not doing that, and we
can close it out. All right, kids, that's been Frosted Flakes. Pick it up at your local dispo or
your friendly plug.
Yeah, your friendly plug. That's such a better name than drug dealer.
Well, or maybe it's your pharmacist.
Yeah, your pharmacist.
Your local pharmacist.
Yeah. Hey, talking to your local pharmacist. I like that. That's perfect.
Yep. So, and if you haven't yet, go check out Cannabis School Approved. And for everyone at home,
yeah,
we love you guys.
Take care.